Wilson, we are truly lucky. We have a school like no other. Our small school allows us to get to know just about every student that goes here. Students should be able to support each other no matter what. In our school, we have many resources to help students in need. For example, there are teachers willing to help students, students willing to help other students, and many options for help provided by the guidance office.
A few weeks ago, as a part of a Warrior Club project called Walk in My Shoes, each student was asked to fill out a small paper shoe containing something personal to them. These shoes are being hung up along the walls of the school. Please take a few moments of your time to stop and read what students have shared. You'll learn that just about everybody is dealing with something in their own lives, something that you would never know just by looking at them. Even though you won't know who the person is who wrote something you read, remember that it's always a good thing to show others that they matter. It doesn't take much to show that you care. By simply asking if someone is okay, it can greatly impact their life. Like Mr. Monticelli has always said, Wilson is our home. No one should feel like they are alone, and no one should be a stranger here.
Good morning, Wilson. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2017. On this day in 1431, Joan of Arc's heresy trial began. She would later be found guilty and burnt at the stake. I'm Matea Jordan.
And I'm Ryan O'Brien.
Ever wonder how your eye perceives things? Mr. G is here to explain just that on today's physics moment of the day.
Yeah.
Science. Hi, I'm Mr. G, and welcome to your physics moment of the day. Today's topic, colors and how we perceive things. And we're going to learn that the part that bounces back is the color that you see. Many of us use corrective lenses to help. Contact or glasses help us see better. We may have trouble seeing far away. We may have trouble seeing close up. For most of us, we can't see too well far away, and this is the solution. As you can see, this lens is concave. It's thinner in the middle than it is on the edges, and we call this a diverging lens because this tends to spread light out. This is the opposite. It's a converging lens. This lens is thicker in the center than it is on the edges and is very useful for people that can't see close up or what we call a magnifying glass. Now I said that this is a diverging lens and this is a converging lens, and we're going to show you exactly what we mean. Gabe, house lights, thank you. If we take this little laser box here, we have 3 rays of red light running parallel, and I will take the diverging lens and place it in place, and we can see the red beams clearly diverge and are not parallel. Diverging. This is a converging lens, magnifying glass. We put the magnifying glass in the light, and it brings the light to a clear focus. All this sunlight is concentrated at this little point, and we burn a hole in the brown leaf or the piece of notebook paper. This is a magnifying glass. This is 90% of us walking around the school with contact lenses or glasses. If we place the lenses together, one brings the light together, one spreads it apart. The result, the rays come out parallel still. They're sort of kind of like offsetting tendencies in science, offsetting penalties, if you will, in football. All right, well, we have one more experiment to show you with optics, and it has to do with the invisible man. The container is clear, colorless, and quite transparent, yet you can see it very easily. That's because any surface reflects light and also may refract light, but definitely reflection, we can see glare, and we don't run into glass per se. Take a look at the glass over here, and what we're going to do is a little trick called the disappearing beaker. The little guy inside is going to disappear in front of your eyes. What we're going to do is surround the glass with a substance called mineral oil. It tends to have the same optical density as glass itself, and light cannot tell whether it's passing through glass or mineral oil. It doesn't interpret that as a boundary to reflect off of to your eyes. It goes straight through, camouflaging or making the interior glass disappear. Keep your eye on the inside glass. It's going to disappear from the bottom up when I add the mineral oil to the larger beaker. All right, I'm going to add the mineral oil now. Keep your eye on the inside beaker and it will disappear from the bottom up. Keep watching. Not yet, not yet. And now. The light is going straight through. Very little is reflecting to your eyes. It can be difficult to see the interior beaker. The magic of physics. I'm Mr. G, and this was your physics moment of the day.
The Guidance Department has plenty of scholarship opportunities available for seniors. Criteria and applications are available on the Guidance Office webpage through the high school website and on the black rack outside of Guidance.
District-wide PIAA sports physicals will be held on Tuesday, February 28th from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. in the high school gym. SIPI physical forms and research forms are available in the medical office.
Stable Tables will be selling tables with custom orders available. The base model will cost $17.99 with additional prices for custom orders. Stable Tables, on time, on demand.
The International Club is working this year to send Christmas presents to children around the world who wouldn't otherwise receive any gifts. The club is currently collecting empty shoe boxes as well as unused toys which you can give to Ms. Saylor or any International Club member.
Attention seniors, Christmas City Studios will be taking a photo of the entire senior class at 10:45 today on the front steps of the building. Students will be called from fourth period for this photo.
Gifted seminar students should complete through number 4 in their project packet by the next meeting on February 24th. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Hockman.
Special Olympic volunteers have been selected. Please pick up your field trip permission forms and t-shirt order forms from Mrs. David ASAP. All forms must be returned to Mrs. David by Thursday, February 23rd.
A Cairn University representative will be here on Tuesday, February 28th during period 6 to speak with any interested juniors. If you would like a pass, please see guidance.
Attention all seniors in Warrior Service Club. If you will have 100 hours by May, please see Mrs. White in room 105 to arrange for a cord at your graduation.
Wilson Soccer is selling t-shirts. If you are interested, see Mr. Stewart in room 103.
That's all we have for you today, Wilson. Be sure to add us on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter to keep up to date with your Warrior news.
And be sure to stay tuned after today's broadcast for this week's episode of News and Minutes with me and Pete. Don't turn off your TVs. You got to watch it because it's the GOAT series. It's the best. And that's Matea Jordan, of course, the legend. I'm Ryan O'Brien, and like you guys just have a great day. Get out there. Good morning, Wilson. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2017. I'm Ryan O'Brien.
And I'm Peter Rivera.
And this is your News in Minutes. Carly Harris, a college student who volunteered at a refugee camp on the Greek island of Lesbos in November of 2015, found the love of her life in Sufyan El Yassami, a Muslim fast food worker. The problem? President Trump's executive order that prevents people from Muslim-majority countries from entering the United States. This will prevent the two from being together. Harris states that she feels hopeful but cannot ignore the reality of the current global political climate. Aetna and Humana were going to start a relationship that would cost $34 billion to merge the two healthcare companies together. However, instead of beginning a relationship, Aetna will pay Humana a $1 billion breakup fee. The Attorney General is attempting to block any relationship between the two healthcare companies because the combination of the two would drastically constrict the healthcare competition, forming a monopoly. PSG defeated Barcelona 4-0 on Tuesday on the first match day of the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. Goals were scored by Angel Di Maria, who scored 2 on the night, Julian Draxler, and Edison Cavani. This shocking result comes as quite a surprise to the Barcelona team, who are often favorites to win every trophy available in the season. This defeat and poor form throughout the season has led many to question if the era of Messi and Barcelona's dominance may be coming to an abrupt halt.
Even Trump voters are feeling the effect of a $7.25 minimum wage. Voters such as Donna Coomer, a 52-year-old grandmother who manages a Valero gas station in Kentucky, hopes that President Trump will begin to support a push in raising the minimum wage to $10 an hour. America's Got Talent host Nick Cannon is leaving the show after being threatened with termination by NBC executives. After Cannon made several jokes at the show's expense on his Showtime comedy special, Cannon, who has been the host of America's Got Talent since 2009 wishes AGT and NBC the best in the upcoming seasons. Michael Flynn's resignation as National Security Advisor came as a result of a controversy that erupted as to whether or not Flynn misled Vice President Mike Pence over whether U.S. sanctions had been discussed with Moscow's ambassador before President Trump's inauguration.
The city of Louisville, Kentucky is dealing with a spike in overdoses. In a 3-day period, Louisville Metro Emergency Services responded to 52 overdose calls. The week prior to this, 24 overdose calls had been responded to in the same time frame. Heroin is not a new problem in Louisville, as there is an average of 22 overdose calls a day. A study recently conducted shows that where you live affects your personality. New Yorkers tend to be more anxious in their romantic relationships than West Coast dwellers, while Utah has the least anxious and most relationship-inclined populations in the country. The study also suggests that something as simple as weather could change someone's personality. Kim Jong-un's half-brother died at the airport on Tuesday in Lumpur. Tuesday, February 14, sources say that the South Korean brother to Kim Jong-un was assassinated. Kim Jong-nam was possible heir to his brother Kim Jong-un and United States rival.
Many options are given to people who end up getting cancer in their lifetime. Surgery is the first option for the variety of people who act upon having lung cancer. Surgery is ranked the most efficient for cancer that hasn't spread out of the lungs yet. Another option very commonly used is chemotherapy. The therapy is used to kill the cancer cells to cure the disease that spread throughout the body. Chemo isn't the best option because of its various side effects like nausea or fatigue and the high chance of loss of hair. Radiation therapy is the third type of treatment for lung cancer. X-rays are used to kill the cancer cells in the lungs, but this option also has the flaws which make it less chosen than the others. The last few choices are targeted therapy and immunotherapy, which aren't commonly used followed through with because of the result it has on the cancer and the body. A 39-year-old Easton man was accused of beating his stepfather during a dispute at a city home. The victim told police that his stepson was intoxicated and started punching and kicking him. The victim was injured. Court records indicate he had a swollen eye and bleeding from his nose. He is charged with simple assault harassment. He was set at bail for $5,000.
The French Alps ski resort suffered an avalanche and 4 people have been reported as dead and 5 are missing. Among the dead were some of a family of 5 and a ski instructor that was with them. Reporters say that there is a very slim chance of finding some still alive. 40 rescue teams, dogs, and helicopters are roaming the area with hope. A woman living in India, whose name is Selvi, said she thought she was coming down with the cold when she began feeling an itching sensation in her nasal cavity. As it progressed, she visited a hospital where the doctors suggested a nasal growth and referred her to a second hospital. The other doctors attempted to flush her nasal cavity with water. When this was unsuccessful, she visited a third hospital where she received a nasal endoscopy, which revealed the mystery behind the woman's pain. It was a full-grown cockroach, Dr. Emin Shakar said. He explained that Selby had a full cockroach living in the space between her eyes, near her brain, that crawled up during her nostril when she was asleep. It took the doctors 45 minutes to remove the roach from her skull using suction and forceps. Selby is lucky, for if it was not caught in time, it would result in the death of the roach inside her head, which then would have led to an infection spreading to the brain that would also result in the death of Selby herself.
Officers in Far, Texas seized 3,947 pounds of weed in the commercial shipment of key limes on January 30th. The weed was disguised in green wrap that would make them look like limes. The stash would cost around $789,467. 2 girls were shot in Chicago. Investigators say the 2 incidents happened within less than 30 minutes away from each other. One of the girls, which was 11, was shot while playing at a playground, and another girl was kidnapped into a minivan and shot in the back seat. Police and members of the community are concerned about the rising violence in Chicago.
A Russian spy ship was spotted close to the United States. The ship was about 30 miles away from the Navy battleship base in Connecticut Wednesday morning. The ship was just said to be sitting in the waters but carried surface-to-air missiles. They said that this Russian ship was never this close to the United States before and see no need to consider it a threat because ships like these are just used to collect valuable information from the U.S. The Pentagon said that it expects the ship to return back to the Caribbean soon. A trial has started for an 18-year-old man who was accused of fatally shooting a friend in the face and then taking a selfie with the body. 2 officers said that Maxwell Morton showed little emotion about his friend being shot. One claimed that when he pulled the trigger, he had a little smirk on his face. He took a photograph minutes after shooting and then an hour later sent the image via Snapchat. The defense argued that the teens were playing with the gun and accidentally fired. The judge's final rule is that the selfie will be seen by the jury in court. Thanks for joining us for this episode of News in Minutes.
Make sure you check back next week for the next episode.
And make sure to follow the Warrior News on Instagram and Twitter at Warrior News 15. Maybe follow me and Peter too. For now, that's all we have. I'm Ryan O'Brien.
And I'm Peter Rivera.
We'll see you in a minute.